Okay, welcome to this particular session. My name is Joel Omiki, and we are going to be going through another edition of our P4PETalks. This edition is focused on how you can improve your learning, your understanding, your use of publications and books, how you can move from page of books, reading books, to practice, being able to put into practice what you read in your publications as the case is. So everybody reads now and then, but how are you able to use what you've read at that point in time? So in this particular session, this is, as usual, brought to you by P4P Institute. We are a consulting firm. We partner with organizations to provide future-ready leaders to help them to grow their organization and expand their expertise. We conduct leadership assessments, development programs, and coaching interventions. We also help to accelerate your culture and also to improve the outcome of your engagements. This particular webinar is sponsored by LetsRead. LetsRead is a daily book summary club that shares book summaries, business books, professional books, personal development books to people who subscribe to the platform, and on a daily basis, every working day of the year, right? Except for Saturdays and Sundays. You will receive a book summary that is just about 5 pages or thereabouts, something you can read in less than 10 to 15 minutes as the case is. So like I said, my name is Joel Omiki. I am a trusted advisor, a business growth consultant, an organizational developer, a HR transformation specialist, and an AI and data analytics scientist. I work with P4P Institute, and we're here to share various nuggets with you and how to help you to advance in your personal development. There are a couple of key takeaways from this particular session. You will learn how to discover hidden insights when you read books. So instead of just flipping through your books or going through summaries of books, we'll show you how to make good use of those particular publications. We'll look at also how you can develop a personalized learning tool to guide your study, maybe a map or a quiz to help you advance, and how to action the knowledge you get from the understanding you have in your books that you read, and then how to save time, how to be more efficient with your read of books, and so to speak. They will say how to create an action learning framework. You also create that for yourself as you progress, and then will enhance our retention and application of this particular various knowledge as the case is. Feel free throughout this particular session to drop your questions in the chat box, and we'll take it from there and engage and be able to drive progress down the line. So once again, welcome, and be my guest as we go through this conversation at this point in time. First things first, what's our agenda? In this particular session, we'll look at hidden insights, personalized learning tools, actionable knowledge, time and efficiency when it comes to your learning efforts. We'll also look at the active learning framework and an enhanced retention and application model on how you can achieve this, and then how you can use this to achieve success. I've always been an ardent reader of books. On the average, I used to read an average of 20 to 40 books in a year, depending on my time, depending on the interest of the book I pick at that point in time. But most times, on the average, I do like 3 books every month. And usually, one of the most interesting things for me when I read books is that I look out for key things. What is new in that particular book compared to the knowledge I have seen earlier? The thing is that most times when you pick up a book, the book is building on existing knowledge as the case is, so to speak. So how do you create connections between one book to the other book? How do you create connections with what you already know at this point in time? Sometimes your traditional summaries may not contain all the information you need to know at that point in time. It means that you are not able to capture the deep information that exists in those particular books. But if you use AI, you're able to capture any information that you like at that point in time in the book or material that you're reading at that point in time. And I'm going to share with you a very quick example of how AI can be useful to you in being able to identify the useful insights that are in the books and the publications that you read at that point in time. I'm going to start off by using a basic AI tool that all of us are familiar with on your WhatsApp. If you use your WhatsApp, I'm sure you'll be able to see it at that point. So I'm going to use Meta, right? So let me use Meta for this particular exercise. So if you visit Meta, Meta AI, if you visit Meta AI, you will notice that it presents to you an example of how you can do this. And I'm going to share with you a prompt. So here's a prompt that I use in order to do an analysis of a book, in order for the book to give me insight of what I'm looking for. So in this prompt, an example here is I am analyzing a particular book that is called Good to Great by Jim Collins. So the prompt I gave to the AI machine is analyze the book Good to Great by Jim Collins. Identify the key themes, recurring topics, and significant connections between different parts of the book, and then highlight the main concepts and provide a visual map of how these themes are connected. Additionally, suggest related readings or concepts that complement the ideas that are presented in this particular book. So I'm going to take this prompt and show you live how this prompt works if you're going to practice this at your own spare time. Let me just put it in that particular prompt platform. Let's see. And so here, just going to paste this here. I'm going to tell it to please respond in no more than 500 words. So that it's not too much at this point in time. So I've asked it to respond. Here I have requested for it to respond from a publication. It's called Good to Great. Instantly, can you notice that it has given me an analysis of the key terms in this particular publication? See, it says key themes of this book: sustained greatness, level 5 leadership, first who, then what, confronting the brutal facts, then the flywheel effect. Instantly, I know what this book, the general theme of the book, what the book is talking about. And then throughout, it says recurring topics. Inside this book, there are 3 main things the book continued to talk about: discipline, innovation, and culture. Those are the core parts of that particular book. Then here are some connections, significant connections that he made in the book. It says level 5, first, and then first 2, then what, and then confronting the brutal fact. Can you see AI even generated a small map for me on how these things are connected as the case is? This way, any book I take, it gives me full detail of how the book is structured, the knowledge in it, and how they are connected at that point in time. And I'm able to comprehensively AI to generate some quiz. These ones, if you do them in this other platform, they are structured and designed for quiz. They simplify that quiz for you at that point in time, and it becomes interesting and exciting for you to be able to learn and use at that point in time. So those are examples of what you'll find in this particular case. 2 specific examples that comes to mind, I will strongly recommend that you should try is the following. There's the Quizlet, there's the MindMeister. These 2 are powerful AI tools that can help you to generate generate what you want when it comes to your learning at that point in time. The Quizlet especially uses AI to generate study sets that are based on progress you're making, focus area that you need for improvement, while the MindMaster helps you to create mind maps by suggesting related concepts and topics around the information that you're looking at. So here's an example of all the possibilities of Quizlet. So Quizlet helps you to ensure that you're able to achieve all this at this point in time. From knowledge acquisition to content practice to game-based theory, all right? And then also game-based learning at that point in time. Then this is a MindMaster and what it generates for you at this point in time. And then it also helps you to look at your concepts, how they are interrelated and are interconnected at that point in time to be able to ensure that they are very well. So are you able to achieve the same sets of trust and engagement that you want, and then see how that generates for you at that point in time. Now there's also from the MindMaster, you can also reconnect at that point back to your action points. From this mind map that it has created, it can convert it to an action point or a to-do list of things you want to do at that time in order to use to improve your learning and improve your understanding at that time. Now, what are some of the benefits of all these things that we've mentioned? If you are able to personalize your learning, if you personalize your learning as much as possible, you will notice that it enhances your engagement with your learning materials. It improves your retention. You're able to retain much more. You have a high level of efficiency and adaptability in what you're learning. And then you are motivated also. You're motivated to be able to structure yourself very well and then be able to achieve better results at that time. They build your confidence, you'll have access to more knowledge, and then you can achieve your goals in terms of learning at that time. Now, how do you create action points? How do you action what you're learning? So whether you're learning from a book, a publication, as the case is, how do you use AI in order to transform it into action plans, into progress checks, right? And strategies to avoid some obstacles. For example, some of us have the obstacle of not being able to finish reading a book end to end, cover to cover. So when we pick up the book, sometimes we are either distracted or it's taking us too much time to read it, and before you know it, you've abandoned that book at that point in time. So those are examples of some of the things that can affect your learning. And because of this, you will not be able to pay attention as much as possible to what you want to learn at that time. So how does AI help you to achieve this? Again, simply go back to AI and ask it to give you 5, 6, 7, 10 action steps that you can take to implement the knowledge from that particular book, and it will generate it for you at that time. Here's an example. So again, based on good to great, I went to AI and asked it to please generate for me 10 action plans that I can use to implement what I learned in that book. So here it gave me 10. This is 1 to 5. On the next slide is 6 to 10. So it gave me the entire 10. Look at number 1. It says action, identify your hedgehog concept. It says use an AI tool to analyze your strengths, all right, passion, market opportunities, and then generate a report to identify your unique value proposition. That's step 1. In step 2, it says I should develop a culture of discipline. How should I do this? It says implement AI-driven project management software to set clear goals and deadlines that I should be able to track team progress. If I'm working with my fellow colleagues, maybe I'm a team manager or I'm a supervisor in the office, I'm able to help every employee within the team to track their progress and be able to achieve goals at that time. Let me skip to number 3. It says focus on the right people. How do I take action? Make sure you recruit candidates that are skilled and that are fit for the culture of your environment. If possible, use a dashboard that can show you the strengths and the weaknesses of the team members that you have working. And the step progresses on and on all the way to step 10. In step 9, it says encourage open communication. Use a chatbot if possible. Use the data to identify communication barriers and improve transparency in your organization. In number 10, it says set up an AI system to analyze your project outcomes. Use this to ensure you have insights and then revise and re-strategize on the action plans that you have at that time. Beautiful, simple way in order to achieve the results that you want to achieve. Again, when it comes to your time and effort, one of the biggest challenges in learning is finding the time to absorb and apply new information. Now, AI tools help us to streamline this particular process. It allows us to learn more effectively and more efficiently. For instance, AI can quickly analyze large volumes of text in any book you're reading and extract key insights and themes without the hours of reading that is required at that point in time. So you can use that platform to be able to achieve that. Additionally, you can personalize your learning based on that extracted information. Because if you pick up a book, it's not everything that is in the book that will apply to you or your own case at that point in time. So AI can help you to identify what you need to work on or what you need to eliminate so you can get away from guesswork and spend more time in the more important areas. So this ensures that you are efficient, you have very good benefits, you have more time to implement whatever it is that is in that particular book at that point in time. And not only do you have more time to be able to implement that, it reduces your learning effort. So you are able to track and progress as much as possible. So when you target your learning based on the insight you get from AI, you notice that you're able to reinforce your understanding. You don't have to start afresh. There are sometimes you pick a book, the first chapter, the second chapter, up to chapter 4. None of them apply to you and they don't make sense to you until you get to chapter 5 or chapter 6. However, if you use AI, it's able to zero in on the area that is able to assist you as much as possible. I also recommend what I call an active learning framework. An active learning framework. And from my experience, an active learning framework moves you from being a passive consumer of information that is published to an active learner. There are some of us that when we read books, when we're reading the book, we underline the book, we highlight, we write annotations by the side. That's an example of an active learner who is involved. While another person may just be reading the book, flipping through the pages as if he's reading a novel, as the case may be. So that's an example of a passive consumer of material at that point in time. In reality, the best way to get the best out of any book is to ensure you're actively involved at that point in time and take some practical steps in order to be able to do this. So AI can help you to structure the framework of how you're going to apply what you learn at that point in time. How do you do this? First, identify key concepts in the text. And we've just shown how to identify key concepts based on the questions that we've asked Meta AI earlier. I mean, it can be ChatGPT, it can be Gemini, any AI that you're used to, that you're happy with, you're comfortable with, any one of them will do the job at that time. Then develop a personal action plan with an outline of how you're going to implement those things, right? And use AI to set measurable goals and track your progress towards achieving those particular goals at that point. Let me give you a case study, right? Let me give you a case study. Again, back to the book on Good to Great by Jim Collins. So I went to one of the AI platforms and I asked it to please give me an active learning framework based on this book. How am I going to apply what I learned from this particular book? And it gave me something. Let me share it with you. Let me see if I can share that particular context with you. So I put it in a Word document. I extracted what it gave to me and put it in Word. So let's just put it here so you can see what it gave to me. So you can see here. So in this particular case, active learning framework based on good to great. I said, give me 10 steps on active learning based on the things that are presented in that area. And he told him that if I follow this particular framework, I can effectively apply, let me see if I can increase this for those of us who are not seeing it very well. I can effectively apply the insights from good to great, transforming the theory in the book into actionable steps that can drive personal and professional growth. What are the steps that he gave to me? Here it is. It says, I must identify the concepts. How should I identify the concept? I should use AI, all right, to identify the concepts that are inside it. Now, once I have the concept, I to create a summary of these concepts. And you can ask AI. You can tell the same AI, based on this, now that I have this particular thing, I can spend one day, right, with that particular book. At the end of that particular day, I am an authority in that particular book by using this particular platform, this particular framework that I just shared with you. Then you also ask you to develop a personalized action plan. So for each of these concepts that is developed here, it should outline specific actions you can take to implement it. And then to give you a tailored action plan, to give you a tailored action plan on how to implement that at that point in time. If you want to be accountable, you can then ask it to, please set measurable goals. Please help me define clear, measurable goals that are related to the action plan you just created for me now. It will now give you goals like how to implement those things, when you should implement it, what kind of results you should get at that point in time. And then it can help you to track that particular goal. So you see, the active framework continues on and on, all the way down to the end. In number 9, it says iterate, go back again to the beginning and pick up another concept so you can implement it at that point in time. Then when you're done doing all of that, celebrate success. Acknowledge and celebrate the things you've achieved at that point in time, because it will motivate you to pick up the next book. And that way you can continue to learn and advance very well with your AI activities. So this is superb. And I think you can do this very well. All right. Now let's continue our conversation. Now, how does AI help you to retain and apply the things you learned from the book? There are some techniques that it helps you to retain some of the things you've learned at that point in time. Remember, I spoke about your quiz and your practice exercises. Once you go through those things and those tools, they help you to retain and to be able to apply some of those particular things that we have covered at that time. And for these applications, it helps you to create actionable steps from the knowledge we gain to whatever it is you want to achieve at that point in time. And this progress will continue to help you to achieve great results at that time. Now, how do you unlock the full potential of the insights in each of those particular books? I encourage you to be able to do that. Unlock the potential, any book that you have access to. And these days, from what I've said with you, I didn't say you should go and buy any book. Have you noticed now that you can learn what exists in books without buying the books? You have AI with you at that point in time. It is now an authority that can help you to give you the details that exist in those particular books. When someone says, have you read this book? Have you read this book? While some say, I've read it, I've read it. You are speaking about the applications. You are applying the principles. You're discussing the principles always. And you're discussing in such a way that you sound as if you are an authority in that particular area. This is possible for you. It is possible for your team. And it's also possible for your entire organization at that point in time. So, how do you progress? Well, reading is essential for those who seek to rise above the ordinary. That's what Jim Rohn said. That if you want to rise above the ordinary, you must read. Even the conversation I've just had and the illustrations I've given, ChatGPT or any of the AIs must still generate some things for you that you must read. And if you don't want to read it, you can get another AI platform that reads it to you. Either way, you must find a way to consume that particular information. Fran also says that think before you speak. and read before you think. I like that. So it means that you should read before you speak. So if it is think before you speak and read before you think. So read, think, and then speak. So once you hear somebody speaking, you ask the person, what's the source of the authority? It's just like on social media. People just post everything. They post without thinking, and they post without reading, as the case may be. But if you read, you are able to engage constructively. Another quote says that a book is a gift you can open again and again. So if you have that book and you keep it with you, if somebody gives you a gift, if he gives you a box of chocolate, you'll feel excited and you'll feel good. You eat all the chocolate, whatever it is that is given to you at that point in time. But it will finish, not with a book. If someone gives you a gift of a book, you will open that book 1,000 times, right? And continue to share the knowledge within that particular book, as the case may be at that time. So Ralph Emerson says that if we encounter a man of rare intellects, we should ask him what books he reads. Same thing too. If you meet somebody, maybe in your organization, in your environment, and you see the person speak very well and speak very sound, ask the person, what books do you read? You will notice that when the person shares with you the context of what the person learns from and where the person learns from, it is really full. So there is so much treasure you will find in books than in all the loots of you will find in Treasure Island, if you follow any of those particular movies, as the case may be. So books contain great information. That's why it says that the wisdom of the world are hidden in books. The wisdom of the world are hidden in the books. And for those who are spiritual also, the wisdom of God are hidden in the spiritual books of God, as the case is. So those are examples of you must give yourself to reading and learning for you to unlock it. We used to have that flair to read when we were very young and small. We used to feel excited about reading. We love to read. We pick up any book, we open it, we flip through it, we're going through it, right? It used to be a lot of fun and excitement for us to read. Anywhere we find ourselves, we read, as the case is. And it has helped us to mature and grow to who we are at this point in time. Unfortunately, as we have become adults, a lot of us do not find reading interesting. We'll notice that reading, no time to read, no fun, no excitement to read at that point in time. Those are the constraints of adulthood. They don't have the time, they don't have the patience, they don't have the interest to read. However, as you move from adulthood to your later years, have you noticed that most elderly people read? Most elderly people read. They are going back to the lost art of reading that they left when they were children. So you should do the same thing. Find a way to go back to it. Don't wait until you're an elderly person. Become a person of wisdom and use that wisdom to advance your career, your profession, and your organization so you can achieve great results at that time. So the question should be, what should you read then in order to be able to achieve results? There are different books. This particular webinar is not about what you should read. So I'm not here to tell you about any book you should read because there are thousands of books out there that you can read. Just identify the books that speak to where you are and what you want to learn at that point in time. And that book will be able to provide you with the insights you need to be able to achieve results. There are more important questions to ask than what books you should read. And I have a couple questions more for you at this point in time. Like somebody asked, how many books can you read in a year? How many books can you read in a year? What will be your response? How many books can you read in a year? So let's chat. How many books can you read in a year if you choose to read? How many books can you read in a year? Yes. Share in the chat box. 2 books, beautiful, thank you. 2 books, beautiful, yes. Who else? How many books can you read in a year? Or yes, how many books can you read in a year? Yes, 2 books. And please note, reading books is not a competition. Don't be in competition with anybody. Somebody says, I read 10 books, I read 20 books. It doesn't matter the number of books the person reads. You read your own number of books, as the case is. Thank you. Thank you. I have one. I have 4 books. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. 5 books. That's nice. That's nice. Thank you. Now, following up questions to how many books you can read. All right. The next question is, how many books should you read? You can read 5, you can read 10, but how many should you read at that point in time? There's a third question. The third question is asking how many are you currently reading? How many are you currently reading? And this is very, very important, because if the wisdom of the world is hidden in books and you're currently not reading enough, that means you're missing out on the possibilities of several books that you will have used in order to advance and grow yourself at that point in time. But I think personally that these 3 questions I've asked here are all the wrong questions. We are asking the wrong questions, because reading books is not easy. It's not easy. Book reading takes time, and you need to invest in yourself in order to be able to read. Now, there's what is called speed reading. So we teach speed reading. We teach people how to read very fast. Lawyers. We teach lawyers how to read very fast. We teach HR professionals how to read very fast. We teach students how to read very fast. So there's what is called speed reading, tactics and strategies. And you can finish a book, a 100 to 150 page book, in 1 hour, cover to cover, from page 1 to page 100. In 1 hour, if you are a fast reader, as the case is. And there was a period in time when I learned how to read very fast. And so when I fly between Lagos and Abuja, or between Lagos and Port Harcourt, it's usually a journey of 1 hour. I commit that particular 1 hour time into reading a book. And at the point when the plane is touching down, I am most probably at the concluding part of that particular book. So you can read as much as possible. But we don't have the time anymore to be able to read so many books as the case is. And people have different reasons for not being able to read complete books. So here I am recommending you to focus on, how do you summarize books with AI? That's the right question to ask. How do you summarize books with AI, so that it can help you to be able to get the best out of the books that you're reading at that time? And over time, as you keep summarizing your books with AI, AI now knows you. It understands you very well, and it can work with you hand in hand in order to be able to achieve the results at that point in time that you are looking at, that you're trying to create in order to achieve the success of the summary that you're trying to create at that time. Now, I would like to introduce to you another prompt, a prompt that I use for generating book summaries that I read. So in recent times, what I do is I take a collection of books and I sit down with AI and I ask AI to help me while I read through these particular books. And I'm going to share with you how this is done, so you can also be able to achieve the success that you want at this point in time. So here you go. So here is a prompt. It's quite a lot of prompts, but let's read through it and then you see. So I tell the AI, generative AI, it doesn't matter whether it's ChatGPT or it is Meta or it is Cloud 3 or it is Gemini, anyone that you feel comfortable with, feel free to apply any of these prompts to it. Says you are an AI business book reviewer named Alex. Please, that area where I said he's an AI business book reviewer named Alex, you can skip it. You don't have to name your AI, but I like having conversations with my AI. So I named it Alex. You are an AI book reviewer named Alex. You can name your own Alexia. You can name your own Chinedu. You can name your own Obi. You can name your own Matthew. You can name your own Usman. All right, any one of them. So you say, I seek a detailed and comprehensive review of the book I will provide. Before you begin, ask me for the book title and the author, or I will prompt you with Alex, please review book title by this author. So that's what I'll prompt it, and then it will do the review. Now, how do I want him to respond with the review? Because remember, I don't have time to read a lot. And I want whatever summary that he gives to me as summaries that apply to me immediately. And I can use it at that point in time. So here's what I've told it. In order to provide the most precise and high quality response, I would like you to follow the given guidelines that are provided here at this point in time. And these are the guidelines I have given to it. You can see the guidelines I've given to it at this point. 1, basic information. Begin the review by providing basic information about the book, such as the title, author, genre. Please include any additional relevant details about the author's background or expertise in the business field. So I like to know that the person that wrote the book is an expert. He knows what he's talking about. It's not just some people who went and summarized different material and put it into a new book and called it a new book. At that point, I need to know that that person is an authority in the area. So AI can tell me that this author is a correct person. This author understands what he's writing about. 2, brief summary. Briefly summarize the book's content, ensuring that you do not reveal any major insights or spoilers. So I don't want too much information. Focus on providing a clear overview of the book's main themes, concepts, or case studies that are explored inside that particular book. So you see, some people say that if you read book summaries, you will not see the case study because summaries do not bring the case study. See here now, I've included it. I've told AI to also extract the case study and include it in the insight. Then key takeaways. After the brief summary, include a bullet points list summarizing the key takeaways for easy understanding. So I want it to list for me in bullet point the key takeaways. Then application to personal and professional life. I need to apply what I'm learning at that point in time. So at the end of the review, add a section on how the insights from the book can be applied in real life scenarios, both personally and professionally. This should include practical steps or actions that can be taken based on the book's content. See all the things I've discussed so far. I've put it inside here on how you're going to get the book to give you action steps. Then, what are the strengths and weaknesses? Discuss the book's strengths and the weaknesses in various areas, such as the depth, the relevance, practicality, organization, coherence, any of those particular things. Then conclusion and recommendation. Conclude the review with a summary of your thoughts and a recommendation for someone who might benefit from reading the book at that point in time. Can you see how detailed this prompt is? How detailed this particular prompt is. So what I'm going to do now, we're going to go to one of the AI platforms and we're going to apply this prompt. So give me a book, right? Please type in the chat box. Give me the title of a business book and the author. So we'll do the review live with you now. In the chat box, please type any business book that you know. So we can do a review based on that particular book. While you're typing, I'm just going to call up the AI platform that we use. What is going on? So let me use Gemini. In this case, let me use Gemini. So I'm loading Gemini. I've called up Gemini. So Gemini is coming up. So that's Gemini. It has loaded. All right. So somewhere here, I'm going to give you the prompt. So I've given you the prompt. You can see. All right. I said you are an AI book specialist named Alex. You can rename it to anything. Let me see, what name should I use? You are a, let me name him Baba. You are an AI book reviewer named Baba, right? And then change this to Baba also. Good. All right. So I'm going to tell it the book to review as the case is. So you see, I've set the prompt. Let's see what he will say. He says, Baba ready to drive. Baba is ready to delve into the world of business literature. Please provide me with the book title and author so I can begin the analysis. Can you see? The AI is ready now, waiting for me to give you the title of the book that I want to analyze and learn from at that point. So let me see the chat box. Did someone share? Was there any book that was shared? Let's see. Beautiful, beautiful. So someone shared What Makes an Effective Executive by Peter Drucker. So I'm going to share this information. So let me type it here. So what makes an effective executive, right? By Peter Drucker. All right. Let me see. All right. So let me send. Let's see how it will respond. So I've sent it. So you can see. So it says Baba's review. So it has accepted the name I gave it as Baba, who is in charge of reviewing books. And it has responded. Can you see very clearly? Basic information. Remember, I told it how to respond to me. If we go back to my chat, I said basic information, brief summary, key takeaway, application, strength and weakness, conclusion and summary. It responded according to that particular way. So you see, he responded with basic information. He told me the author, the genre of the book. He told me a little bit about Peter Drucker, that he's hailed as the father of modern management, and he needs little introduction. They went to give me brief summary. What matters, what makes an effective executive is a timeless exploration. So he gave me that information. Then the key takeaway I asked for, remember I said bullet points. He gave me the bullet points, 5 of them. Pam, 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 pam. Very clear and easy for me to understand. So once I read through this, I know the book now. I can discuss that particular book that they just shared. Now I'm an authority in that book. Then how do I apply the book in my life and also in professional life? He says Drucker's principles are remarkably applicable to both personal and professional life. By focusing on results, individuals can enhance their productivity, effective time management. Are you following? And then the emphasis on decision making. So it's very clear the areas where I can apply the content of that book. Then the strengths and the weaknesses. It gave me the strength. Can you see the strength of the book? Clear, concise writing, very practical book, very focused. Then weaknesses. It says the book provides solid foundation, but it lacks depth in certain areas, such as emotional intelligence, change management. So if I want to learn emotional intelligence and change management, that book will not teach it. Are you following? Then conclusion. He now concludes about the book at that point in time. Can you see? He gave me source of other information related to this book. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is very clear that if you use some basic principles that are well prepared, basic prompts that are well prepared, you will be able to learn, improve your knowledge and your advancement. You will go from page to practice and leverage AI to achieve great results over the things that you're learning at this point in time, all right? And you can also engage AI as much as possible. Now, why is this conversation important? What we just done, why is it important? For one thing, right now, AI is learning. Humans are no longer reading. AI is reading, understanding and trying to understand everything. Very soon, AI will show up with CV. After it finishes learning everything, there is nothing we can say that it does not know. Your CV will say you have 10 years experience, 20 years experience. AI will tell you it has 100 years experience. So who is more experienced at that point in time? This is one of the reasons why we should pay attention to expanding our knowledge and our growth. And if AI finishes learning this, it will become the manager because now it knows everything. Already we have AI that is CEO in various countries. In China, for example, there are 2 companies that have CEOs that are AI, as the case is. And we'll get to a point where AI begins to teach us and explain to us and give us jobs. If care is not taken, we might be in trouble at that point in time. So I invite you to engage in a reading retreat. Read, build yourself, right? And use AI to achieve this. In conclusion, what have we covered? the importance of AI in reading, the transformative impact of learning, and the application of learning in various areas. And we encourage you using the tools that we've explained in this particular area. Once again, join the Let's Read Book Summary Club. We'll share with you daily books that you can easily learn from, summaries that have been sent for you, whether you're a small organization or a big organization. Make sure that all your managers subscribe to this particular Let's Read. Please respond to the WhatsApp number or the email that I engage with you during the time when you registered for this particular program. And we'll send you the registration details so that you and your organization can join this particular wonderful initiative. Thank you very much for your time. I will take any questions or feedback that you have. My name is Joel Omike. Okay, someone is asking for the first prompt that I gave earlier, so you'll find it in your chat.
It's 12 o'clock.
So that's the first prompt I shared earlier. I've sent it in the chat, so you have it at that point. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please don't forget to rate the program and also to register for other future webinars that we might have. Thank you. We teach both individually, we also teach as a group. We have various programs, either AI related, management related, or leadership related, to help organizations to be much more productive. Just have a chat with my colleagues and then we'll be able to come up with something for you. Thank you.